Hello, all sentient beings, and welcome to the Transmissions Podcast, where we talk all Hasbro, Takara, and third-party Transformers! On this episode, we've got a third-party company trying to make the biggest Metroplex ever. Hasbro is going back to the well with more store-exclusive repaints, and we've got reveals of the next Shattered Glass figure and the next potential Masterpiece figure. Today is Wednesday, May 11th, 2022, and this is episode 485 of Transmissions. Welcome to Transmissions, the podcast that never got rid of our third-party panel. I'm your host, Charles, a.k.a. Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team. Jeremy, a.k.a. Yakko.
Hello, how you doing?
And Daryl, the Cybertronian Beast.
How's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you so much for continuing to help out the show. It keeps us going and keeps the fires burning, and we really appreciate it. If you are not already a Donatreon and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up, and we look forward to it. Thank you very much. Also, check out this week. We've got the next episode of our awesome Transformers Live Play RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. We've got the free feed episode 75, Revenge of the Shockwave. This just came out Monday, May 9th, so it should already be available to you. It should be in your feed, the Transmissions main podcast feed, or you can get access to it directly by going to transmissionspodcast.com/rust. And this is a big episode, lots of revelations happening in this episode. Very exciting. You learn some very heavy truths about the teammates in this episode. So check it out. If Mike were here, he would be hyping it up. All right, let's get into our toy talk.
All right, and to start the show this week, we've got a color render from that new company that we've talked about once, maybe twice so far. There's not been anything produced by them yet, but this is Like Toys, and they're showing off a render for a G1 Metroplex, and this is a big one. They are proposing a 48-inch tall, that's 121 centimeters tall, or 4 feet figure. This is massive, an absolutely massive transforming figure. From what we've been able to find out, the figure is supposed to have is supposed to be fully transformable. It's going to have some light ups. The face on him is going to have a movable jaw, and apparently an extra rib piece so that you can take it out and donate it to produce a female Metroplex. No, I'm kidding. That's a Bible joke.
That was reaching. That was you reached across the universe for that joke.
I'm surprised Jeremy's not laughing. He's the real religious one.
Why would I laugh at a joke that bad? I mean, it's like your southern accent. It's horrible.
I was pretty good. I was pretty happy with that one. I'm like, oh, that's good. I can throw a religious joke in here. The extra rib piece is actually to be able to produce cartoon and toy design, whatever fits your fancy. But massive figure for anybody out there who's, maybe into the scale of their figures and thinks, that Titan Class 1 that maybe I haven't been able to find isn't big enough anyway, and I want to go with something bigger. So we'll maybe we'll keep our eyes on this one and see what happens with it. I'm going to open it up to the floor here because there's really not a lot of information here. Jeremy, your thoughts on a 4-foot tall Metroplex?
I mean, it's tall enough to ride most roller coasters at that height.
Yeah.
I'm having a problem just kind of physically picturing it in my room. I don't know where a 4-foot figure would go. And if they can pull this off, that'd be very impressive. And I can only imagine the cost, unless it is just completely hollow. Mm-hmm. Which, I mean, I imagine it could be, because, you know, he would transform into a city that is also kind of just big blocks and stuff. So I don't know. I want to see how they pull this off. I really do, because this is just, it's a nice looking robot mode here. Like with and without the rib piece. Although I prefer it with, it just kind of having that gap in the midsection just looks odd, and it doesn't look very stable. Mm-hmm. Even though I doubt the rib piece adds much stability just from looks. It looks bad. But I don't know. This thing looks really good in, you know, the 3D render form. And I want to see one next to a small child and just see how impressive it looks.
Not even a small, next to a large child.
Well, yeah. I mean, my kid is 7 and not even 4 feet yet. So it would be bigger than my kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, Charles, it's a big figure. When you get to figures of this size, you run into a problem that I think a lot of it just starts to look like just large panels and just big blocks. And, you know, I don't know if you can cover those things with enough surface detail to make them kind of blend in. You're just going to start looking at huge chunks of plastic after a while. Do you think that they can do this 4-foot tall figure justice and make it look like a transforming figure, without making it just look like, you know, ginormous pieces of Lego?
I mean, I really can't tell. I mean, from the renders, it looks like Metroplex. I mean, Metroplex was one of my favorite toys as a kid. I had the original G1 Metroplex. It was nowhere near 4 feet tall. I still have pieces. It broke, so I still have pieces of it now. But this seems ridiculous. I mean, I think they can make it look good. The question is, can they make it look good and sell it at a reasonable price? I mean, I can't imagine them trying. I mean, if they want to actually make break even or make a profit on this, I got to think this is going to retail for at least $1,000. Like, who's shelling out for this? I mean, people were balking at the Unicron for $600. Who's shelling out for this? I mean, there are not enough super rich Transformers collectors in the world to sustain this market. I don't know. It seems, and I mean, but you know, I think if they're going to go big like this, they should do it all. Like, there should be every accessory that Metroplex had. We should have a Voyager size scamper and slammer. You know, you should be able to have your masterpiece cars should be able to drive on the Metroplex roads and things. I mean, if you're gonna be this massive, then I want this to interact with all of my other Transformers, because basically this is going to take up a room, right? If I'm gonna transform this in the city mode, it's going to be in the center of my room, and I want to be. It's like a display case where I want to put all the other Transformers on it and interacting on it because they're in the city. So
it's a storage container.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, you can just store all of your figures inside it.
The Metroplex helipad should support it should put all my Transformers jets and flying vehicles on top of it. They're hanging out there. This is, yeah. I don't know who this is for. That's my question.
Perhaps it could dock. You could dock the USS flag on it.
Maybe.
You know, add to the play pattern. There's a lot of, you know, questions with this thing. Obviously, this is not the first ginormous third-party figure that's been, proposed. Obviously, there is Fans Toys is working on that humongous Fortress Maximus. That we got the head for it, but still nothing else. And I still question the idea of the rest of this thing ever being produced. But whatever. If it comes out, it comes out. I have no skin in that game, so We'll see what happens. But a 4-foot tall Metroplex from the company Like Toys. If they do it, cool. If they don't, oh well. We still got the 2-foot tall one. At least some of us do. But that's it. That's all I got for the show this week. Jeremy, why don't you tell us what you found?
All right. There was another Transformers Tuesday reveal this last week, and they revealed 4 figures. One we've already talked about, and that is the Blackout or the movie masterpiece Blackout from the from the 07 movie. We talked about that a week or two ago, and we have official pictures now from Hasbro. But they also announced the Voyager Heroic Maximal Dinobot, which is the Beast Wars Grimlock with the Dinobot head, and the colors are different, more gold, and the skin tone of the Raptor is more peach. And then the Deluxe Evil Predacon Terrorsaur, which is the Terrorsaur that they just released with the toy deco. And then they announced the figure that we've all been waiting for and holding our breaths for, because we couldn't get enough of this figure before. They've re-released Cog, but in a variant color as Red Cog, where he's now red and black instead of his original colors. So I know that everyone really was looking forward to getting another version of the Cog. But I don't know. I think these are okay. I mean, for me, the big ones are the Dinobot and the Blackout. It's always good seeing Hasbro release these Takara figures, like the movie masterpieces. But the Dinobot, I think we knew we were getting. It's the Dinobot with the Grimlock head, essentially, and I think it looks pretty good. The Terrorsaur, it's the exact same figure we got before, just slightly different paint. I don't know how many people are going to be interested in that, unless you are really just into getting the toy deco of these figures. And then Cog, I don't know. I mean, weaponizers are fun. Just if you're into the weaponizers, here's another chance of getting one. You can just add it to your crazy creations. So not as exciting as some of the more recent Fan Tuesday reveals. But before I get into one more thing that came up, let's talk about these. Charles, what were your thoughts on these 4 reveals?
Yeah, I mean, this is scraping the bottom of the repaint barrel, it seems to me. I mean, I think Hasbro's kind of forgetting that repaints. I mean, repaints have been a part of Transformers since the beginning. That's not a surprise or anything like that. But the thing with repaints is that, or repaints, remolds, redecos, whatever you want to call them. If you want people to, if you want people to get multiple versions of the same figure, you got to give them a reason to get it. And a lot of times the fiction is where the reason comes from. Like the Seekers, it's Starscream, Skywarp, or Thundercracker. There's a reason Starscream was the most popular version of those toys, because he got the most characterization in the cartoon. And I mean, to a lesser extent, you did get Skywarp and Thundercracker as and people have their favorites there, and they've gotten Skywarp and Thundercracker have gotten other have gotten spotlight a little bit more over the last 40 years or so. But yeah, if you want people to care about the repaints, you got to give each character something meaningful. Like Ratchet and Ironhide, Ratchet and Ironhide both got copious amounts of characterization separately, so people care about both characters, so they're willing to buy both characters. With these repaints, like you already said, Terrorsaur, it's the same character, just looking more like the toy than like the cartoon, which, I mean, that's fine, but I wonder how many people are that nostalgic for Terrorsaur that they need to get both versions. If you already gotten the one version, you probably aren't going to get this version. But maybe people missed out on the first
version. With Dinobot, you have a different robot head.
Yeah, I mean, and even with Grimlock, I mean, yeah, everyone loves Grimlock, but they love T-Rex Grimlock. They don't really care so much about Raptor Grimlock, who's a remold of Dinobot. I mean, maybe there are a few out there who care that much, but it feels like I think people would much rather have the original Dinobot mold rather than this redeco or remold. And Cog, it's like, Redcog? I mean, okay, yeah, he was a background character in the War for Cybertron show, but the Blue Cog was the one who got all the characterization in the show. I think Redcog, he was literally a red shirt. He got killed as in the show. So
I did miss that this is the Red Cog is a Target exclusive, so that's why we got a red one.
Oh, fair enough.
Actually, all of these I think are Target exclusives. And then Hasbro Pulse is getting a limited quantity.
Okay. Well, I mean, okay. I guess if Target wants to pay for Hasbro to do these decos so they can have some exclusives, that's fine. But Target, I don't think you're gonna sell these guys like you would sell the regular figures. So maybe, I mean, the Masterpiece Blackout I think is legitimate. Like we've already talked about that. That's a legitimate new figure. So yeah, I mean, bringing Masterpiece Blackout to the States, directly, and not having to import them or go through Hasbro Pulse. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that will pull people. I mean, people do remember Blackout from the original live action movie, so I see that as probably getting off the shelves. But these other three, I think, are, I don't know, they don't appeal to me at least, but maybe they appeal to other folks, but not to me.
All right. Well, Daryl, do they appeal to you? I know you don't have targets, but I'm sure they'll show up.
Well, I am other folks. They not overly. The part of it that I do find interesting is that Cog does come with a bit of a weapons pack. So Cog is he comes with a bunch of stuff here, and there's a bunch of different weapons and jazz in there that he can use and give to other dudes. So that's interesting to me. That is the part of this that would make it appealing. And that's pretty much it. The toy deco of Grimlock, I guess. I don't know. The head, that's not the Dinobot head, right? That's the Grimlock head. So it's, I don't know. I think if they were, this is the perfect color match for the original toy Dinobot, but that head doesn't match. So
yeah, the head does throw you off a little bit.
Yeah, if they had fixed the head or matched the head up properly, or as with the original toy head, I might be interested a little bit. But then again, it's a new Dinobot, and I have the original Dinobot, so I'm not super interested. And then the toy deco on Terrorsaur here, it looks good because the original toy for Terrorsaur is atrocious. It's a terrible figure, but it's still a Beast Wars toy, and I'm not really into the new Beast Wars toys. It would be one out of all the other ones that I've gotten, and I'd have nowhere to put it. So these are all good for various reasons, and they just don't have places in my own personal collection. The Blackout one is neat, and we've talked about it before. I love the size of it. It looks badass. It's got its own little bit of nostalgia for me because of the 07 movie. But the rest of these are a little bit off. The one thing, and I don't think you may not be mentioning it because I think you were going to go on to the next thing, is that part of the weapons pack is a little gun thing that actually connects to the back of RC and will actually allow Cog to sit on her shoulders in that like double shoulder cannon mode from the show. And
I just saw that.
Yeah, so it's a little piece that they've made specifically. You could use it as a gun because it kind of looks like a gun, but it's actually made for the back of RC. So you can pull this off and actually make it look good. So that's
pretty cool.
Yeah, if you've been trying to figure out a way to actually make this awesome shoulder cannon thing happen, this is how you do it. There's one little piece in the red Cog weapons pack,
and it's pretty amazing that RC is stable enough to stand while having all that additional weight added on.
Well, she's got those giant flip-flops.
Not really something we're used to seeing with RCs.
Yeah.
And that came from Hasbro designer Mark, which he also mentioned if you get the Cog, make sure you search the box to get all of all the accessories and weapons. Apparently, some of it they're packing it in tissue in the back like they've done with some other recent toys. So don't just throw away the packaging without making sure you got everything out.
Yeah.
All right. So the next thing, which I think is a repaint that we can all appreciate a little bit more than these we just talked about. This came through Preternia.com and In Demand Toys. We now have the official images of the Shattered Glass Voyager blaster with rewind. And this is a white and purple mostly blaster. I mean, if you've seen the comic, he hasn't been in the comic yet, has he?
No.
But yeah, I mean, you know the Shattered Glass color effect. This is the blaster that just came out, and I think this looks really cool. These colors work really well on him. I still would prefer the standard blaster, but I think the black and the teal and the purple and the white on them, it all works really well. And in the boombox mode, it does look more like a boombox you would actually see rather than like a giant red one. And the rewind is he's translucent red and black, and I mean he's fine. But the real star here, I think, is Blaster, and I'm really impressed. I mean, this is a repaint that I think serves a purpose. We're going to get fiction with them. It's going to get characterization, and this is something that I think people will buy. It's probably going to sell out. So, Daryl, let's start with you this time. What are your thoughts on the blaster?
Well, I think it looks good, and we did get that leaked image of this, a while ago now. So we kind of knew it was coming, but yeah, I think it does look good. The colors are really nice, but it again once again just falls into the same kind of Shattered Glass, bin for me, where I have no interest in Shattered Glass. The rewind being once again translucent plastic, just I don't know why they're doing that. Blaster's tapes, Shattered Glass or not, I don't understand why they're translucent.
I mean, a lot of tapes were translucent, like actual tapes.
If you're going with that, then I understand it, but I don't think they are. I just think they're doing it as some kind of gimmick. But if that's what they're going with, then I get it. But all in all, I mean, it looks good. It's just it's not for me. I'm not a Shattered Glass collector.
All right, Charles, how about you?
Yeah, gotta agree with Daryl. I'm not into the Shattered Glass toys, and this falls into the same kind of repaint bucket for me, where I'm not really interested. I mean, I guess we do know there is a Blaster comic coming eventually, a Shattered Glass Blaster comic coming eventually, but at this point, he's kind of a blank slate, and I'm still looking for the Legacy Blaster. I would like the original colors Blaster, and I haven't found that yet. So, I mean, yeah, and it does. I mean, the color scheme does look nice, but yeah, not for me.
All right. Well, what do you have this week, Charles?
Okay, well, we've got more rumors of another Masterpiece figure coming, and this one is interesting because I think we've always speculated that for Masterpiece figures, they're always looking to see how many redecos, remolds, repaints they can get, because Masterpiece figures, the engineering is quite expensive, and they want to get their money's worth out of designing and engineering a new figure. Hence why we're still waiting for a Masterpiece Jazz. But if you thought that's what we was going to announce, nope, it's Masterpiece Trailbreaker. So apparently we've got just rumors, just inkling. We've got a grainy image of what looks to be a potential Masterpiece Trailbreaker. No official word from Hasbro or Takara yet, but this image does. I mean, it looks like Trailbreaker. It looks like there's some accessories there. Looks very cartoon accurate, and with a Trailbreaker, of course, a hoist cannot be far behind. So they've got minimum 2 figures to get out of this design. Probably they can reach back and do some more Diaclone color figures as well. So yeah, I imagine we'll be seeing several incarnations of this Trailbreaker mold. And Trailbreaker, he's not the most prominent G1 character. He did have a couple of spotlight episodes in early G1 cartoon. He got a little bit of shine in the comic More Than Meets the Eye from a few years ago. But that's a different design. That's not the G1 like robot, animated show design Trailbreaker. But it's there's some Trailbreaker fans out there. So Daryl, are you a Trailbreaker fan? Do you have any interest in this? Assuming that we get a somewhat reasonable price for this.
I am. If this is true, then I'm kind of in. I have a I believe it's the Ocular Max hoist. So I always kind of like having figures that in the original G1 figures, like the original toys, shared a mold. If I'm buying a masterpiece version of them, I always like to get a different company for the two guys who would have shared a mold. So it looks the same, but it's not the same. So if I've got the Ocular Max hoist, then if I can get the real, legit masterpiece for Trailbreaker, then that'll be really cool because they'll look the same, but they're not the same, and that'll fit really well in my my collection. So I'm really kind of into that. And if these pictures are, legitimate, then it kind of looks a lot more cartoony, which is the standard of what they're doing recently. And it looks pretty good. I don't remember the name of the. I think it was a Chevy truck that they used for Trailbreaker and Hoist, but it definitely looks like it's got some of that badging on it, and it looks pretty good. You'd think it would be a Chevy Trailbreaker, but I don't think it was.
That would make too much sense.
Well, this Bob Budiansky just came up with the names based on the toy pictures he had, so he didn't actually know if this was the right car model back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. Maybe he thought it looked enough like a Trailbreaker.
I'm looking it up because it's bugging me now.
Okay, well, in the meantime, Jeremy, what do you think of a Masterpiece Trailbreaker?
I am a Trailbreaker fan. I like them. I think it's due to get a Masterpiece figure. We've had Thrilling 30, the last one, there was one for Combiner Wars too. So it's been a while since we've had a decent Trailbreaker. So I would hope that the prices are coming back down on the vehicle ones, but I doubt it. So I don't know. I mean, if it's around the $100, I think it's a decent price for a Trailbreaker. And then, like I said, we'll get the hoist, and so it's okay. It's I enjoy the character. I'm kind of out of the market for Masterpiece vehicles right now. So I'm happy that it's out though. And like one day we will get the Jazz, I'm sure. One day.
Cool.
And side note about the Jazz, and just before we finish with the Trailbreaker, it is a Toyota 4-wheel drive Hilux camper truck. That is the official name of what the vehicle is, which probably would have been very popular in the late 70s. I was talking with a friend of mine who's much more into cars than me, and I was bringing up the idea of the Porsches and the licensing and what Transformers does, and he's like, well, Porsche is always very, very stringent on who they allow to use their licensing, right? And I said, but they're owned by Volkswagen, and Volkswagen owns, Lamborghini, and they own Bugatti, and they own, blah, 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 blah. And he said, and they also own Porsche, so why is it Porsche does their own thing? He's like, they just do. They are really sticky about it, and they've always been really sticky about it. So apparently it's just a Porsche thing. It's not, it has nothing to do with Volkswagen, their parent company. When it comes down to, a Porsche being used as a Transformer, a licensed Porsche, it's everything to do with Porsche. Has nothing to do with Volkswagen. So
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I guess then we'll put the blame on Porsche then.
Yeah.
Also, I guess the Chevy is the Trailblazer, so maybe that's what was in Bob Budiansky's mind. He's like, oh, this looks like a Trailblazer, but I can't use that because that's a licensed name. So what could I think of,
Sure.
and I'll come up with Trailbreaker. So clever guy, that Bob Budiansky. Clever guy.
He's okay.
All right, that's all our toy topics for this week, so we will move on to trips to the store. And this is where we show off all the awesome Transformer stuff we got this week. We do this as a video so you can see everything we got in beautiful high definition, but we'll have the audio right here in the show so you can keep listening as we describe everything we got in loving detail. So without further ado, trips to the store.
The Transmissions Podcast will return after these messages.
So let's talk about the stuff we got. And Jeremy, I'm going to start off with you.
All right. I have a figure that I showed off a couple weeks ago that I got from Hasbro in that box, but I had never opened it until literally 20 minutes ago. So I had nothing else to show, and I was like, oh yeah, I haven't opened this yet. So I have finally opened my Legacy Skids, and he's fun. I love the color. The paint job on this is very good. I feel like I haven't actually transformed him yet, but from what I can tell, he looks really good. He comes with 3 weapons that I have combined here to make a gun axe thing, because if you have an axe and a gun that can combine, why not make the ultimate weapon?
That's like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Right, exactly. So this looks good. I've never actually had a Skids before, so I'm looking forward to making a boxy 1980s looking car. That is all I got this.
All right, I'm going to go next. And I found something at my local Target. Surprisingly, they must have done a restock because they had a bunch of Legacy and other figures there. But I found something that I had been wanting because, I had passed on this character earlier, but I saw him in the store and I immediately picked him up. It's Studio Series Buzzworthy Bumblebee. Studio Series 86 Cup.
Those package thieves have really gotten bad. Not just the head.
So finally, this version of Cup, and yes, it's out of the package because I did open it. There it is. Studio Series 86 Cup, but the right deco. For some reason, they put the movie-accurate deco in the Buzzworthy Bumblebee packaging. Don't ask me why. I don't know why they do that. But this is the much better version of the Studio Series 86 Cup because it looks like the movie character. It's got, you see, he's got even the little cracks there, like just like in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he comes with the Energon goodie and his gun, and yeah,
those
like
limbs
just
come
like
apart, like the
the limbs come off. And fix me. Oh, there it is. Yeah, and it comes with the diorama. Even though it's a Buzzworthy Bumblebee box, it comes with a diorama. So
I think that's a different diorama than the other one.
Oh,
might as well.
I mean, the branding is different. I mean, here's the Hot Rod diorama. You can see the branding is different. So if that annoys you or bothers you, sorry, but yeah,
I think the Cup diorama is the under the water one.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I don't know why they changed the diorama, but it was more expensive than the Voyager. The deluxe Cup was a deluxe. Originally, I think he was what, like $19 or $20. This one was $22 or $23 when I got him. So yeah, I did not pay. He did not cost me $40. I did not pay extra. So that was good. I got him on the Target shelf. I was surprised though. So Cup is a deluxe, and I put him next to Voyager Hot Rod. They're the same size. I don't know why. Hot Rod got those little Energon. He came with the Matrix and a couple other accessories, but I don't think it was enough to be compared with the Voyager. These guys are the same height. And I don't think their plastic is that
Hot
much
Rod a Voyager?
different. Hot Rod is sold as a Voyager.
Oh.
Hot Rod is sold and marketed as a Voyager, while Cup is a deluxe. And they look they are the exact same height. The Cup's transformation is just as intricate as Hot Rod's, and it's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
I haven't opened my Cup yet.
Cup is good.
My
He's
Cup's
a good
on
figure.
the shelf.
Yeah.
I mean, Hot Rod still is the like shining star of the line, though.
Yeah. But I mean, it doesn't look like, if you look on the back, it doesn't look like Cup's any more hollow than Hot Rod is. He's still
look at his waist.
That butt is missing.
I mean, look at Hot Rod. And,
yeah.
You ain't got no ass, Lieutenant Cup.
But it's not like this is the joint for the legs. So that's, this Cup's legs are down there. So it's not, it's not the same connector point there. Like the part where Hot Rod's
taint.
The part where Hot Rod's like not, there's no joint there. It's hollow too. So, and inside is hollow. So,
whoa! It's a children's show.
But yeah, I like these these guys are two of my favorite characters from the '86 movie. So it's nice to have them together. So yeah, Cup is and like I said, this is the Cup you want. I know Buzzworthy Bumblebee. We're still confused as to what the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line is, but this is the better deco. If you're looking for a Studio Series 86 Cup, this is the better deco. Buzzworthy Bumblebee. Don't get the original deco. So, but that's what I got. So, Daryl, take it away.
Okay. Well, the new comic I got this week is the Beast Wars number 15, and I ended up with the RI cover because I thought, you know what, this is a really cool looking cover with Megatron's face up nice and close with his Optimus Primal squishy and being squished to death. It's just a nice looking cover, and I thought, you know what, I might not be liking the comic too much, but these covers are nice, so I'm buying them for the covers.
Who did the art?
No idea.
I'm looking it up right now.
No idea.
I knew you didn't know. I'm just
Marsh, James Marsh. I can see the signature on it. Yeah,
it's a great cover.
The other one I got at Free Comic Book Day. Did you know that there was a Free Comic Book Day Transformers comic?
It was not.
In 2006. So this was sitting in one of the boxes that when I was putting stuff out, and I was like, I'm taking that. So this is the Transformers IDW. It's an infiltration. There's 4 stories in here. So infiltration is for the first part. On the back part, it's a Beast Wars, The Gathering. And on the inside, you've got 2 more. They're all basically just previews. So you get a little preview of Hearts of Steel, and you get a little preview of Stormbringer. And it's pretty good. The art is fantastic. So 3 of the 4 stories in here are written by Simon Furman. So early IDW relied on Simon Furman quite a bit. The Hearts of Steel was Chuck Dixon, and then art is E.J. Sue, Guido Guidi, Don Figueroa, and Don Figueroa. So
it's pretty top tier right there.
Oh yeah. Colors were John Raunch, J. Photos, and says John Burcham. Says colors by John Burcham for 2 of the stories. That might be a typo, unless there was 2 Burchams working at IDW at the time. But great art. Anyway, so I found that and I picked it up. Early IDW Free Comic Book Day issue. The toys that I got this week, I'm going to end up showing these off a couple times because they got different modes. The first one I'm going to show, I'll just show their boxes first. This is MS-03 and MS-04.
Oh.
This is Iron Arm and Moonshine, the 3rd and 4th components of the Moon Studios Radiatron, the third-party Raiden, whatever. I have had no time this week. These things arrived on Wednesday, I think. And all I've been able to do is open the boxes and pull them out. Literally, I just grabbed them out of their plastic containers for the show today. So this is Moonshine, and he's still got the plastic on him from the box. So you have to bear with me for not having kind of prepared him or any of that. But he looks really good, and I'm really looking forward to messing around with him. He's got a really nice looking cable package on the back. You can see the Radiatron head packed away in there, and then he's got the chest plate is still in the box. It's pretty big. The sense of scale on this guy is incredible. So that's the chest plate for Radiatron, and just massive. The Iron Arm, though, they don't send him in a robot mode. They send him in his pants mode.
Wow.
So the size of this is incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'm looking at this thing thinking, holy crap, how big is this guy going to be? And yeah, unreal, the absolute size of him. There's a waist swivel right there. He's got hip skirts, all the good stuff. And
Hips
I'm really
don't lie.
looking forward to... No, they don't. So I'm really looking forward to messing around with this. I will be transforming it into the, its alternate, the robot and the train modes as well, because I want to see what those look like. But just down here, these are the joints for the feet, or to put them on. They're die cast and unbelievable. Holy smokes. The ratcheting on this. That's impressive. I'm really into this. It's strong, and I'm pretty
Sounds
happy.
good.
Yeah. So
It's loud enough to disrupt the podcast.
So, yeah. Once I get some pictures taken and whatnot, and I'll definitely when I have them together in his Radiatron. I'm still missing the arms. Obviously, they haven't come out yet, but I'll keep showing them off in various stages of completeness. So, but that's it. That's what came in this week for me.
Cool. And that takes us to the end of this week's Trips to the Store.
We now return to the Transmissions Podcast.
We're back from our trips to the store, and we will finish up the show with convention news.
All right, we have a couple things in convention news from TFCon. First thing is TFCon Chicago 2022 tickets are now on sale. This is going to be October 21st through 23rd at the Crowne Plaza Chicago O'Hare Hotel and Conference Center. And just head over to tfcon.com/tickets, and you can buy everything there. They have pretty much all the standard packages. The premium weekend pass is $110, which gets you to the front of the line, gets you to the ability to purchase exclusives on Friday night and stuff. Standard weekend pass is $55, and they go down from there. So if you are interested in the customizing class, you need to get in there, get it early. Maybe by the time you hear this, it might already be gone, but that always goes pretty quick. Next thing we have is TFCon Toronto has announced the return of the third-party product panel. So I think at least in LA, the panel was missing, and I guess due to overwhelming demand, it is back. They are soliciting for any third-party product manufacturers to contribute to their presentation. And they say it is focusing on new information and images of upcoming collector-focused toys. So I think the last couple we have seen some kind of reruns of some items. So hopefully we get to see a lot of new things. I know it's always one of the high points of the weekend. So I'm glad that they are emphasizing that it's coming back. And that is all we got for convention news.
Okay, that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions. As always, we end the show by thanking all our Masterpiece Donatrions. You guys contribute to the show at our highest level, and we really appreciate it. So thank you again to John 4X11Good and Demon Tech 82. And that's it for this week's transmissions. Thanks everyone for listening, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.